Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Jay the One-Eye Gamer video. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the brand new strategy RPG that was revealed last week from Famitsu, that being Relayers, and it's a new game being developed by the team that made God Wars. If you guys don't remember that, that was a strategy RPG, I think that came out a couple years ago based on fantasy medieval Japan. So it's very interesting to see that they're working from a fantasy setting to a sci-fi setting. And with Relayers being announced, we pretty much get a little information on it, and along with a reveal trailer. Now, the story we know about is that in the year 2051, humanity has expanded its way all the way to Jupiter and the moons, and we've also made contact with an alien race called the Relayer, and apparently at this time in the story the Relayer wants to actually wipe out all of humanity. So that's pretty much sets the setup for our story. Other than that, we don't know much about it going forward, but obviously the big selling point of a strategy RPG besides the combat is the story itself. So I'm very interested to see how they're going to reveal that going forward. Now, for another thing they talk about is how the game is going to have an abundance of story. We're going to have a huge cast. I don't know the exact number, but they have promised a big cast, and that every character in there can be customizable with these jobs they've offered. There's like at least 20 jobs, and then there's like 20 in-game jobs. They don't really go into depth about what the in-game jobs are as opposed to the jobs that I guess you can do for combat. They do tout about how there's about like 80 combinations of them and how it's going to make every character feel unique so you can customize them how your heart's content. So I find that very interesting. And they also talked about how there's going to be a plethora of stages between the main story and also a bunch of side stories that they want to tell so that you can look at the bigger cast besides just the main characters. So I find that very interesting. They also talked about giving the story about how the moon was created, which I think is actually an interesting story to try and sell people. With that, as you can see with the trailer, we get a look at the combat, and obviously it doesn't look like Super Robo Wars if that's what you were immediately thinking like I did. It's not super flashy, but it looks, I don't want to say super realistic because we have nothing to compare it to, but I feel like the fact that we get to see both mechs actually duking it out and we get to see the after effects of what that looks like, I think that's very interesting and a unique take on that. And the mechs themselves are called Stellar Gear, and we do know that there are 4 types of it. There's an assault unit, a tank, sniper, and I think scout. And we do know that apparently, based on whichever class it is, they're gonna have different moves, different weapons with different ranges. A lot of information. The mecha designs I think look really cool. Hopefully you can see a couple in here, but this game has got me interested. And what's also interesting is the fact that they're planning to get a simultaneous release worldwide for this game, and that's very ambitious in my opinion, especially since they're touting that's going to come out this year in 2021 for the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5. I want to keep my eyes open on this game. It looks very entertaining, and what you can see of this trailer, it looks very interesting. At least I hope it looks interesting to you. And honestly, I think it's really nice to see more mecha strategy RPG games being made out there, because Super Robot Wars is kind of the big daddy of it all. Obviously they got the bigger legacy, but I always think it's nice to see what new things we can see out there, especially with the strategy RPG genre. It's very rare to see obviously like mecha RPGs, again like I said, outside the Super Robot War franchise, and strategy RPGs themselves haven't been super prevalent in the mainstream in a very long time. The only ones out there that I can really think of are Fire Emblem and Super Robot Wars that have stood the test of time. And honestly, if Relayers can do the trilogy route, I'm very interested to see what this first chapter in the saga could do. But that's going to do it for me, guys, for all the information we got on Relayers. I look forward to seeing more on this hopefully in the near future, and hopefully you guys look forward to seeing it too if this sparks your interest. But that's going to do it for me, guys. I want to thank you very much for watching the video. I want you all to have a great day. I want you to be safe out there, and remember, let's rock.